Hello YouTube, it's Dorian. Just a little update. Not going to make this too long, but what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks here, I just put out yesterday Scion 18.2.6, and there's some big and small changes like the update utility now. You'll see in the corner here the yellow icon. It's now something that changes and shows you the current status. Right now it's checking for updates, and now it's gone back to normal. If there is an update, it's an exclamation mark, and you get, of course, the little notification here. If you click it like this, you'll get that little notification saying if you have an update or not. And you can always still manually check, and it'll change back again. Yeah, so I put out 18.2.6 because I've been working with Mercury and Venus in parallel, both at the same time. You can see I now have a welcome screen, and these are things that'll be pushed on both lines. And I've got the cool new graphics thanks to Carl Schneider, who's done some work for me. And then this window pops up when you log in. If you're booting off the ISO to install it, there's an additional button up here that says install Scion Linux, and then it'll run the Ubiquity installer, which I finally got working properly, and it has a little slideshow. Yeah, I'm not going to bring that up right now. I can do that after, or check it out yourself. And then, of course, you can dismiss it like so. But just some handy links so that when you first log in, you can go to the website, go to the forum, go to the wiki, what's new. And if you were to close it, it is in the accessories portion here, the welcome. I've also made software changes, as I've said before. I'm now using XFCE4 terminal instead of Terminator, and I'm using MPV instead of VLC, and a couple small changes like instead of my program that I wrote trying to handle the updates itself, which is pretty tricky, especially when you're prompted, the user's prompted with things like, do you want to keep the new configuration file, the old configuration file? It's really hard to manage. So now when you tell it to update, it pops up the update manager, which will take care of all the updates for you and prompt you for if you have any changes that you need to make and whatnot. The control panel, pretty much the same. I've changed the little graphic here. I got rid of system back, so that's gone. Everything else is pretty much the same. And I've switched from Compton to XComp MGR. So now the button that was for the Compton settings just turns the compositor off. And then you can turn it back on. So you see the shadowing and whatnot. And also transparencies in Windows. You can turn it off. And this terminal has its own fake transparency. It basically just shows the background through, which is why you can't see the control panel through it, because it fakes transparency when there's no compositor. Turn the compositor on, and now it's got real transparency again. So there's that. Well, I've opened a few things now. I should have really showed you before. Now when you first boot up and it's done checking for its initial updates and everything, it's using, I've opened things, so of course it's hard. It'll take a while for it to go back down, but it uses now, when you boot up, about 285 megabytes of RAM, which is pretty nice and lightweight. I'm going to add an option also in the control panel to disable Plank if you don't want to use it, if you just want to use the taskbar by itself, which will save you some time as well. But yeah, so I wanted to put it out there. The VirtualBox drivers are updated. The kernel now is, I can never spell that properly. The kernel now is 4.13. The installer works. So I'm pretty sure I fixed most things that were wrong with it before when all the patches came out. It was a lot of work, a lot of packing, repacking, and I've rewritten the main loop of the update utility so that it can change its icons when it's depending on the status. If you ever want to look at any of this code, you can go into the root of the drive, opt, Scion, and it's all right here. So you can have a look with any text editor or Genie, and you can see all the code. I'm adding more and more comments, and if you go on the Scion project page, which I'm going to link in the description, there's source code, and under Git, you can actually see all the different packages that you get. So for Iron, which is the update utility, you can see all the changes that I'm making. You can go in, you can look at the code and whatnot. So everything's all laid out. It's, open source. And then, of course, the forum, which is under communication, list of forums. And the documents, I've got all the change logs and release notes and whatnot. And there's also a ticket system that you can use if you have any issues, but the forum might be easier. I've been using this a lot for my own tracking of to-do lists and whatnot. And then there's a news section as well in there. So that's what I'm up to now. Venus is still being worked on in parallel, but the issue with Venus right now is it's based on this 18.2.6 is based on Ubuntu 16.04 still, and Venus is based on Ubuntu 18.04. Now, the problem with being based on 18.04 is every few hours there is an update. So it's been a lot of work keeping the system up to date, and I'm not sure if it's something that I want to release just yet. I'm going to wait. The UI freeze has already happened, but people are throwing in all their codes very last minute to get everything working how it should be. So I might release it, and I might release it with a note saying, you will get a lot of updates, but I guess that's to be expected. I'm on the fence right now. Release it now and have you guys just have to deal with constant updates, or wait until the updates have slowed and then see where it goes from there. Once the updates have slowed and the actual 18.4 LTS has been released by Canonical, it'll be fairly stable from there, and the updates are going to slow right down, except for major bugs and snags. Like it's using kernel 4.15, and you never know what might pop up once more people start using it. And another thing is I've also added LibreOffice to the download. It's right in the ISO. So the download itself is 1.1 gigs, roughly. 18 Mercury, 1.06 gigs. So that's not too bad considering what's on it. And if I go here, you can see 283 megabytes of RAM that it's using on login, which is pretty awesome. So if you want to use a more lightweight browser, maybe you're on really old hardware, you can do that. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not going to drag this on. This was just a little update. 18.2.6 is out. I'd really like you guys to try it, and I would like to get some feedback on it if you want to leave it on the comments of the YouTube channel, or if you want to go into the forum on the website and leave some posts there under help or general discussion. It's up to you. The forum's pretty bare right now, but I'd like to get some feedback. The only way I'm going to be able to improve anything is by getting some feedback from you guys. And if there's any extra software that you would like included, I would like to know that as well, because I've got the basics. I even have transmission for your torrent downloads. I've got Genie for editing, and mousepad for a notepad, and I've got your video player. I've included simple screen recorder. So if you want to do your own review on YouTube and whatever, you can go right ahead from there. A few system tools and a lot of preferences, which are all available in the control panel. So yeah, that is it for now. I just wanted to get the word out there that I have fixed the Mercury release, and it's unfortunate how bad things went, but should be good to go now. And as always, follow me over on Twitter at Dorian.slash, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much, and until next time, guys. Bash on.